Hey, there you are. Welcome back. So creating people, I want to talk a little bit more about the creation of people really quick. Where do people come from? Where do individual human beings come from? You look around and there's a shit ton of people. Where do they all come from? People create people. People come from people. People bring about that gradual process of the creation of people. That's where people come from. You look around and that is the origin of everybody. Every human being that you ever seen, created by a couple of people. That, not like in that direct of terms, but the couple of people brought about that developmental process into what they were to eventually become. And that's the origin of everybody. Like, more or less, just came from people. People come from people. Every single one that you ever see walking around, coming out of the womb and doing all the sorts of things that human beings out of the womb go on to do. Just all of them. Every single individual human being, they were created by people. And I feel like this is one of those things that it's yeah, of course, no shit, but if you think about it for a moment, if you really attempt to process what the fuck that means, what does that really consist of? What does that entail? The creation of people. People create people. And what does it mean to create people? I think the more you think about what it means to create a person or people, generally speaking, the less likely you'll be to do it. The less likely you'll be to create people, the more time you spend thinking about just what it is to create a person, in terms of how risky of a fucking thing it is to create a person with a person, or create multiple people with a person. The more you think about that, the more genuine contemplation you direct towards those potential, the less likely you're going to be to do it. That looks to be the case. I think there's really, really good reason to believe that is the case, unfortunately. And it's not sustainable. It's not going in a direction that is good. It's not doing that, I don't think. It's not, we are fucked as a species. I don't know if and I think that's one of the reasons. That's like a contributing factor, a really significant contributing factor. The more time you spend thinking about just how fucked up of a thing it is to create a person, from the perspective of the potential person that you stand to create, if you really think about that, if you think about what that life is quite likely to consist of eventually, and just how, it's fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to do, create a person, in so many ways. There are so many examples to be found of just how fucked up of a thing it is. And I think the more time you spend thinking about that, the less likely you're going to be, generally speak, to do it, to bring about that gradual process. I think there's really good reason to believe that that's the case. And there are so many reasons as to why this is, it's not black and white. Tons of nuance, tons of gray, tons of that. But a lot of it isn't that gray, it looks like. And this is not going in a direction that is going to last. It's inevitable. This is not going to end well. This is not... The human project is not going to end well. And that is unfortunate. And it's if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry. So it's the joke is not lost on me. It's a pretty fucked up dark joke, but it does have, in an absurd sort of way, it's kind of, the humor is not entirely lost upon me, but overall, it's really, really fucked up. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the creation of people in the comments down below. Feel free, if you want, to share your individual thoughts on this particular thing. What does it mean to create people? And do you think that it's going in a direction that is good? And why? Why or why not? Why do you think... what is happening here? And where are we going with this And why is that? I'd like to know what some of your thoughts are. It's nice to have interactions down there, constructive discussions. But one thing is for sure, human life is a really complex thing. There's a hell of a lot going on there, but some of it really doesn't look to be that complex, and a lot of the reasons as to why we're headed in a really, really not so good direction as a collective, I think many of those reasons really aren't that difficult to develop a decent understanding of, because it really, so just thinking about that, like human beings and the creation of them, every single person came from people, all of them. You look around and like the human behavior and human thought and human, all that stuff coming out of the womb and doing all sorts of things, they all came from a womb. They all came from a couple of people. And of course that is what happened, but man, to really think about that is really quite something. I don't think we direct enough like genuine thought towards that. I know I don't. I don't think about it enough. I don't attempt to really process that enough. And that's probably for the best overall. But yeah, I think that we're headed in a direction that's not that good. And I think that's one of the reasons. And all right, goodbye.